I had no idea it was going to be such a long class.
Yeah.
I would have said maybe come later.
Well, I was going to say y'all had to go last.
No, I appreciate y'all's commitment to that. So, all right, it looks like we are live and we'll call ourselves to order right at 4:30 today. How about that? Bear with me a second. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I feel a bit rusty today. Okay, call us to order. I emailed everyone the January minutes. I want to make a motion to accept the minutes as is.
Motion.
Seconded. All in favor? Any questions?
And
January
who's
minutes?
taking?
I'm going to do that, and then I will review, and Amy's going to review also. So, okay. And then I will say for attendance sake, we are missing Amy today and Shani.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will do my best to take notes as we go, and then I'll review the video before we send out the minutes this week, just to make sure we don't miss anything. And then Sam, I know you asked about attendance.
I found it.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And I don't know if the updated one's been put in the drive, so I'll update that. Okay. All right. So we won't do much financial reporting. There's not been any changes. I looked at the agenda, so it looks like budget hasn't been discussed in city council yet.
Correct. I spoke with Felicia a little bit. She thinks the training that we requested money for, which was, for lunch or whatever, she thinks that'll be fine. So we've at least got that.
For the training, okay.
Yes, and we did receive the donation from Conway Corp.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
that will be on the next council
Next
agenda next Tuesday.
Great, nice, okay. And we will so I've got the sponsorship discussion here coming up in just a second, so we can get that into Conway Port, because I know we owe you that. So, and then there's been no other changes with budget, so I don't need to really talk about that very much. Okay, is there anything city staff, Krista, and anything that we need to know, Ryan, before we get started and dig into meat of conversations? Okay. All right. So if we can, for a second, we talked about the monies that come in from Conway Corp, and they do want us, obviously, to give a sponsorship form to them, kind of what we've done every year is just give them this one pager. We started amending it, and then I realized we probably need to have a discussion and vote on what we want to do, because there'll be some changes, but each of you have the sponsorship form in front of you. And I made some changes. So in previous years, pretty much the sponsorship form is the same to what we've offered. Depending on the sponsorship levels, of course, their logo is on everything that we do. We put it on all of our publications, social media, it's at all of our events. Prominent visual recognition, we cross-share their information on our social media pages too. If you'll see under the sponsorship, the bottom line of each of those, I'd put like a 3-gallon tree planted. Previously, we had offered to have brick pavers installed because we've got a location eventually that will go in Laurel Park, but this has been almost 2 years now we've been promising that, so I don't want to continue to do that, because there's no end date to that project that we can promise someone. We do still have the bricks, they are still going in the ground, it's all just dependent on that project work in Laurel Park. So I would prefer to remove that and do something else that we know we can deliver on within the same fiscal year. So my thought was, I have a couple of suggestions. One is that we redesignate the amounts of the sponsorships, because Conway Corp is our top sponsor at $5,000. So I would like to start at $5,000 and then go down to like $1,500. Josh also, thank you, I knew this coming. And then, so I would like to propose that we make changes to our sponsorship in terms of levels, and then also make the change from brick pavers to planting some trees. And just in honor of that business. That doesn't mean there's going to be a sign. We're not going to replace them. This is not like the celebration tree build. Hey, Josh.
Sorry.
Union Pacific had other ideas. I thought I'd get here on time.
So, anyway, what was I gonna say? So offering to plant some trees instead of, because we know we always have funds for trees, we can go ahead and allocate that into our budget. And then when we do my thought was, when we do our Arbor Day or our late fall plantings, we could go ahead and know we're gonna plant those many trees dependent on the sponsorship level. Does that make sense? So first thought would be Willow Oak sponsor, changing that from $1,000 to $5,000, just so we can like recognize, I didn't realize it's not really been aligned to support the Conway Corp sponsorship, but to put it at $5,000 and then guarantee to plant, and this was the question, how many trees do we want to plant for a $5,000 sponsor? The next would be a sugar maple sponsor at $1,000 and a dogwood sponsor at $500, and then just leave the apple blossom blank and let people choose what they want. And so I thought, 1 to 2 trees for $1,000, up to 4 trees for $5,000, maybe 1 for $500. What are y'all's thoughts? I'm my way out of line with that.
I think, 1 tree for 500, that sounds reasonable. The rest of it all sounds reasonable.
So Conway Corp was considered our presenting sponsor, which there's normally only one presenting sponsor.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're planting a tree every year for Conway Court.
I think a tree's been, well, looking
It'll
at
be, if
history, it
5,000
kind
would
of
be
has
4
been.
trees a year for Conway Corp. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem, I don't think.
No, I mean, I don't have any
But-
problem with that. I'm just,
Right.
I mean, if you make the 5,000 a level though, then you're saying they're a sponsor, but somebody else, some other corporation might decide to give us which I'm not saying we don't want $5,000 and can't use it, but just wanted
3,000
to-
instead?
Well, I guess that's where my confusion was when I looked at, because the original agreement with Conway Corp and all of that, that's why I went back and said, what was the original agreement? I know we send this to them every year, but then I second guess myself on that satisfies what you all need in terms of the $5,000, and then the presenting sponsor,
well, I'm just
I don't know.
like,
tell me.
does
your thoughts.
Conway Corp, like, is that part of why they sponsor at that level? Is that they want the presenting sponsorship? Because presenting, there's only one presenting sponsor. So
Well,
it's usually not on a sheet like this. It's like a special, like, you give so much, like, you're really, really special. So,
Well, the presenting sponsor is also the city, I guess, too. But or is that a different thing? But that doesn't count. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't,
well, I'm just, like, when it comes to
You're fine,
event
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Those are.
So I don't know how important it
I
is to
don't know.
Conway Corp to be the presenting sponsor.
Pretty sure we've always done it. Not sure what the original reasoning
Yeah.
was behind that, besides just trying to stay involved in all
Oh,
of
sure.
this. Also, this definitely affects a lot of our work, and our work affects a lot of the trees in Conway.
Right.
So just trying to stay involved that way.
So I guess we just
One
need,
thing,
go ahead.
yeah, one thing I'm wondering though is mentions here a prominent recognition in event materials. Do we have a complete list of events we can list in here maybe? Where?
Well, once we get our calendar done, we can.
Well, I mean, this
for
one's just
year-
specifically for Arbor Day.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, to my knowledge, we've only sent in this.
Just for Arbor Day. Okay.
To my knowledge, that's
Yeah.
all, that has been sent to them was something similar to this. And that's why I asked Natalie to, I put you all on the email about, was there something different that was sent in, or is it just this? So this particular form, to my knowledge, is the only thing we've ever sent. At all received.
So I have no clue how it happened before.
I know, I'm like,
I'm new.
Okay, so do you want to pose that question? Like, do they want to remain a presenting sponsor?
Yes,
Or,
absolutely.
okay, if we want to get some clarification on that part, and then I guess that would be different from here. And yes, we can get a calendar of events. And I went back through too for our social media and all of our prints. So if they even want to see what we did, if they want examples of what we did last year,
That'd be good.
obviously we can provide that, if they just want an idea of what we did.
Well, and I would say if there's a particular benefit that Conway Corporation is interested in,
Right.
let us know.
if we want to not have, if we want to keep our presenting sponsorship at 5 and therefore not be requesting that number, we could potentially just set Willow Oak at 3.
3 is
or
still a
4.
good number. Yeah.
4,500, 4,900, we could kind of set it slightly lower, but at
Yes.
anything.
So we can set this.
1,500 and then like 750.
How often do you get these sponsorships?
That's what I'm wondering.
We don't, well, that's the other part, is that we can't go out and, that was something that I've grown and learned more. We cannot go out and solicit for sponsors as a city board. So we could post this on our social media just to the public, like, hey, Arbor Day's coming, if you would like to be, correct? Is that's how we can do it? We can't go out and like solicit for any sponsors. So in my tenure with the board, I have not gone out and acquired any sponsors because I've been not so sure.
You know how many have reached out to us?
Sorry?
Do we know how many have reached out to us and?
In terms of sponsorships?
Mhm.
No, they're not sponsorships, but we'll have people reach out and go, hey, we have a grant for $1,000. We want to plant a tree, right? And so that's probably something to consider. That's not a
Yeah.
sponsorship necessarily. That's just a request to plant a tree. So we get more of that.
My thing would just be to make sure you don't price out.
Well, man,
Do
This is
what?
all an odd conversation. We can't ask for sponsorship, but thanks for the laugh.
So we have this. So again, this is something that has existed that kind of preceded me that we've just adapted each year. And at first it was, and then we had celebration trees that people could buy into that program, and then that was a little defunct. And so we replanted the trees that did not make it, and then thought, well, let's just do pavers and not guarantee tree for tree replacement because that's not sustainable. And so through evolution, we've kind of gotten here. Yeah.
So
Do we still have a memorial project, but like a way that individuals, like, is this all we have now as a way that people can donate?
It's
Or-
up to y'all what we would like to do for sponsorships this year and what we would like to offer. So when we went from celebration trees, we did purchase enough to have 121 brick pavers. That is the space that was allotted to us. We purchased, I think it was like, it's been a while, we're probably up to like 24 bricks that have already been customized, but the rest are blank, so that as people purchase them, then Spencer physical plant folks will go rip out a blank and put in one time a year. They're not going to do it 1 for 1, right? So that was kind of the original agreement when we moved from trees to big pavers.
And we do get people saying, we want to donate money in memory of this person, but it's usually like just an individual or family.
Which is why we offer.
That's what we get
bricks to do.
more often than.
And so the thought was,
business.
I'm sorry to cut you off. And so that was kind of the thought, is that we would get the bricks and all of those funds go towards like tree grove plantings. We're keeping those funds to go towards plantings, right? So, but I think we've only sold 3 of them that were not what the board absorbed from the celebration trees that we had to remove. Does that make sense? Are you following me? Okay. I feel like we're going down a rabbit hole with this.
It's all related.
It is. So we were doing brick pavers. I have a little bit of reservation in still promoting that because I don't have an end date, and the people who we promised in 2022 to get those in the ground are still waiting on those. And so
they are
That's up to
starting to work
y'all.
on the utilities over there now.
they are, which is
so,
great
yeah.
progress. And if people have
It's gonna
checked in,
be
I'm
getting
updating
there.
them. I know they're coming, like they're there, we have them.
Do we have any estimate on how long that's going to take yet?
No.
More than a year, less than a year, more than 2 years?
Almost a year, yeah, for
A
sure.
year sounds about right, yeah.
The last update I got was just on when it was going to start, which
Yeah.
was, early winter.
I mean, a year sounds reasonable at least.
So I mean, if y'all want to leave brick pavers in, we can do that, and we can put by 2025, they may be in the ground, if you want to do that.
I agree. I think planting
With a
trees
disclaimer.
sounds more reasonable and more feasible and something that can be accomplished much more timely. I think it's good. It would be good to maybe communicate as like receiving funds at those sponsorship levels that it will be planted in your honor. There's not a plaque. There's not a sign.
Right.
But I think it's good.
We could share a location and a wrap up with them. I think that's fair to go, hey, there were 4 red oak trees planted or whatever, a location, just so they know, because I think that's too. But yeah, it will not be labeled or anything.
I'll see if I can get an updated ETA on that work completion.
Yeah, and just since we've had so much turn on the board and there's been change and obviously time, like what is it specifically, that they want? And then we can write that, make sure that that's communicated officially.
We had a brief end of year kind of report, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. I can share that.
Should I get that again?
Absolutely, yeah. There's plenty to share, like there's plenty of previous information, but for this year planning, I was afraid to talk about bricks. Okay.
I mean, I think it's reasonable to still sell bricks with the note of, the clarification that it may be 25, it will be 2025 or later before they're put actually in
20 to 25 years.
I mean,
I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. So, all right.
I'd like to buy a brick.
So let's say separate and apart from Conway Corp, then, because we'll treat them as a presenting sponsor until we hope otherwise. So we know that'll be something different. I can provide you what you need, obviously. And then let's take a quick look at this again, just since we're here. Or do we want to table it? I think let's just land on just in case someone reaches out and wants to sponsor us. Y'all want to stick with 1,000? Do you want to move it to 3,000?
I want to stick with it, I think.
I think multiply all of them currently by 3, and that'll
Okay.
give us a good, reasonable amount to start with.
Okay, 3,000, 1,500, and 750?
Yeah.
Because that means you're really targeting just businesses.
Yeah.
And then, so in terms of what they're getting, of course, program, visual, blah, 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 I think all that is fair to say. So in terms of trees, how many do we want to, and I did put 3-gallon trees. Does that sound, is that a good size for planting to offer?
It says website here. We don't have a website.
I know, yeah. I do have that's in the bylaw review. I'm requesting link spaces. I looked at some of the other boards and commissions, and there's places to put links. I know they had asked for a different page, and at one point the tree board had their own website, which they were asked to no longer have. And so it looks like we're all to one page on the city website, but not some, there were 1 or 2 boards, I think, do have some links either to some of their plans or something, like there's, remember who it is, maybe the pedestrian group has like their master plans. It looks like there's potential to get some links added on our page. So that's why, we cannot put all of this on the webpage, but we could put some links maybe.
Biggest thing would be putting logos on shirts. Because this is for
Since we
Arbor
don't
Day, is
do
what it's
shirts.
listed as.
So, well, this year we opted not to do shirts because the storms, and we wanted to do trees. And that would be a question too and we cleared out all of our merchandise, like
Everything.
intentionally last year, so we can kind of look at branding and what we want to do for this year. So, when we talk about budget, t-shirts are really a big part of that. So we'll have to talk about later, what kind of merchandise. We will do merchandise, but it's a matter of what we want to do.
So earlier you were saying at 5,000, we were talking about like 4 trees per donation. So at 3,000, maybe 3 or 2? I don't know how much a 3-gallon
A
tree
3-gallon
costs.
tree's not really that much. I mean, we could still do 4 trees for 3,000. It doesn't matter.
I do have a
We could do a 3-2-1.
quick question on raising these amounts. If we haven't really gotten too many sponsorships in the past, would raising it make that even less likely of happening in the future?
That is a great question. I think we haven't really promoted this has not been,
Has it been on Facebook at all?
nothing like social media, like we've not. I think the first year it was at Arbor Day, and then I can't tell you exactly. I think maybe when we tabled, there was probably a form, like something like this, just sitting on our tables, but we haven't actively sought sponsorships. So I don't know. That's a great point. If we want to keep it here and try even just publicizing it this year.
And see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments, suggestions about that? I have pretty much zero opinions on this.
Let's just sort of table this until, this isn't something we have to worry about until towards the end of the year. Well, not towards the end of the year, but at
Well,
least.
so I think the intent this year is for us to be more organized, to get our calendars out there, to do some publicizing, whatever, marketing for that, to be more strategic this year so we can draw funds and do more recruitment and not so knee-jerk reacting. But yeah, we don't have to nail this down today.
Did you email about this, the Arbor Day sponsorship at all? Because I may have missed that. That's what I was thinking, I don't have any real thoughts on this yet, so I was thinking about tabling it.
That's fine with
Give
me.
everyone a month and follow back.
Yeah, we want to do this. Do I need to do anything official? Make a motion to suspend the discussion to next month. Does that sound right?
Sure. Motion to table it until next
Table
month,
this
something like that.
discussion.
I need to look those, I learned that once, not too long ago. I need to look that up again.
Well, I looked up the municipal procedural and then the Roberts rules. I'm like,
Robert's Rules of Order, yeah, it's.
I don't know how many years I've led a board and I still can't. I think I have just anxiety over it all. Okay, procedural rules. Not good with that. All right, so we're going to table this discussion till March meeting.
Do we have a motion? Do we need a motion?
Do we need a motion?
The motion is.
Make a motion to table the discussion until next month.
And
So we can do
second,
anything by consensus?
And then I guess we'll need a second, and then we'll need all in favor.
Logan's second. All
Yes.
in favor? Any opposed? Aye, all in favor. Okay, thank you. All right. So then, okay, we'll table this. Give me your thoughts, and then also how we might like to. So we did not talk about marketing at all. We'll have to eventually get to that point. So, all right. Okay, so let's talk about free tree giveaway, because that will happen March 17th. So we really need to discuss it today before we meet. Isn't that, didn't we decide it was going to be on a Saturday?
It's on a Saturday. Is that the 17th?
Isn't it? Did I look at 2020?
The 16th.
16th?
I
Sorry,
didn't think it was, yeah. I think last year it
it's
was.
17th. Sorry, March 16th is a Saturday.
I did get permission to use the cabin at
Perfect.
the museum.
Okay.
Faulkner County Extension Office will also be having an open house that day.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Actually, we're piggybacking on the tree giveaway, which, it can work either way.
You're fine.
We do have 700 trees ordered. Let's see, I have a list of those somewhere. 300 red buds, 100 persimmons, 100 Shumard oaks, 100 pecans, and 100 river birch. And then I think we may get some others donated.
I wasn't looking at you, look at me. I'm just kidding. So, okay, so for sure we have 700 trees. Have we talked about times? Refresh me, did we discuss
I had
anything or
10
do
to
you have?
1
Okay.
listed, but I don't think that's set in stone. We haven't started marketing or anything.
Yes, so I would like to hash out some of the details on that. What time is the open house?
Our open house is 9 to 12.
Okay, so do you want
Ooh.
them, so you tell me
We didn't want to feed people.
what works. So if
I'd
9 to
say
12
over.
is the open house, do you want, is 10 to 1 a good?
I'd like to stay with that 9 to 12 with them, if that's okay with y'all.
Me,
Move it to
9 to 12.
instead of 10 to 1.
Yeah, so that we're at the same time, I mean, it really doesn't matter that much if we don't want to worry about.
The nice thing is the building will be open, and so bathrooms and everything are available.
So in terms of what's going on with open house, does it matter what time we are doing?
No, I
Not gonna stretch, okay.
don't think so. 'Cause I mean, I'll be there. So.
Okay. Any other thoughts about timeframes? Everyone good with 9 to 12? We want to do 9 to 12 or
What's
keep
the
it
date?
10 to 1?
It's,
This March
16th.
16th.
but we need
So-
to say, we'll say 9 to 12, but we also need to put in there or until.
While supplies
Yeah,
while
last.
supplies
Yeah,
last, yeah.
last.
Are y'all advertising the open house?
We will be, we have
Okay.
not really started.
I guess the next question is, would you be advertising your open house and also saying, hey, there's also going to be trees given away and
We can.
promote our stuff?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Well, and actually, Lanita, the director of the museum, said she may open the museum for a little while that day
that'd be
too.
awesome.
Yeah, she
Because
wasn't
they could do
sure,
some, okay,
but
we could do some. Just kidding.
that'd be fun.
Is everyone okay with 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
Wear your
Sound
mittens.
okay? All right, and then of course we need volunteers for this day, so we need volunteers. So in terms of supplies, we do still have the bags. From last year, we ordered some bags to put them in. I think we have more than enough, but I have to go back and look at the quantity of that, and the planting instructions were in there. What else do we need?
I know Amy really wanted us to have a better like display that showed like the characteristics of the different
Mhm.
varieties, but I don't always know what we're getting donated like beforehand.
We could do a display with ours, or the ones we know we're going to have, and like little QR codes that lead to
Well, and we can
planting
even
instructions and information on the trees.
yeah, and I think we did put something on
Mhm.
Facebook, didn't we? Like kind of
Mhm.
little species descriptions of each
Mhm.
one that we'd have.
Mhm.
Then what do we want to do for like limits as far like how many trees can somebody get?
I would
I don't know
start
which one's your hottest ones.
The red bud,
How
yeah,
many do you have of those?
300
300.
and 400
Your
other varieties. What did you say it was again? Redbud, persimmon, and then
Red bud, persimmon, Shumard oak, pecan, and river birch. I always think the pecans would go fast, but
How many
Yeah.
of each of those do you have?
it was 100 of each of them, but 300 red buds.
And like with pecan, you really want
I'll have-
2 if you want
yeah.
them to fruit, right?
I should have some too, but I don't know what.
That's what
I
we're
would
saying. That-
say
I mean, last year we had like 5,000 pines.
Yes.
It was like take all the pines you want.
I would say let's start with maybe limit of 1 red bud and 2 other trees.
You could do up to 3 trees
Yeah.
maximum, 1 red bud. Is
Yeah.
that-
Or next 2 red
Per
buds.
person
Yeah.
or per household?
It would be, well, we did per person last year, including
Good per
kids.
person. Yeah.
And then if like things aren't going quickly, we can
Yeah, then
always
it was the free for all.
up the limit. And then depending on what we get donated, we might be like,
Tomorrow.
Really? Awesome.
Oh, perfect. And we'll be able to promote that to you.
wait, what did you say it was?
I'll know the
Oh,
species
you'll know.
tomorrow.
Okay.
I do know I'll have some of ours that I have to pick up on the last day of February.
Mhm.
So we'll definitely need
Need some space.
some space.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll get with you on that.
Yeah, no problem.
Will you also be able to know quantities tomorrow, roughly?
We'll take whatever we can get.
Probably not, but it'll be more than
It'll
you'll
be
need.
bulk. Good.
Yeah,
It'll
you
be
don't have to worry about that.
That can always be like, if we know day of, we can always say, oh, also 100 pine trees. You can have 100 pine trees or whatever it is, you
It'll be
know.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be way more than that.
All right. So how do we want to handle maximums then if we know?
I mean, I think maybe advertise like a relatively small number, but then if we know, like if we get a big donation, I don't think anybody's going to be mad if they show up and we're like, well, actually, you can have a whole bunch more than what we said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We got returns
As long as you
return
want to.
visitors after that last year.
Really popular. Redbud's going to be super popular.
Yeah.
And
could
we're asking for
also-
them last year so much. I think maybe start with a limit of, or say there's a limit of 1 red bud and 2 of the other ones per person, and then we can always add more if we need to. Does that sound reasonable?
We could even just kind of try to keep it simple and easy on ourselves. Max 3 trees per person, 1 per species. And so it's still 1 per
wouldn't do that.
species.
Well, then
Some
we're
of them are
encouraging diversity,
saying
although
you
the
need 2 of them
pecan-
to.
I was like pecan
And
though,
actually
if they
persimmon
want, if they
too.
want fruit, like if they want
They've
fruit
got
and
to have
trees, they
Persimmon
need
needs
to.
to
Yeah.
also.
So no more than 2 of any species, 1 red bud.
Well, that would-
Persimmons-
I mean,
I
persimmons
feel
have-
like today is complicated. Okay.
1 red bud, 2
Persimmons
of any
have
other tree.
a pretty foliage. In
Persimmons
addition
are
to,
very.
Yeah.
yeah, in addition to fruit, so.
Although I
max
know
3
somebody who has
trees.
one over a patio, and when it blew, it is a total mess.
Mess, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is only like a week.
Okay, max 3 trees, 1 red bud, is that, are we good with that? And then they can choose if they want fruiting or whatever.
That's
And then if we
fairly
get more-
easy.
Yeah,
So max of 3 trees, 1 red.
1 red bud. Okay,
And
So
then
not and.
whatever we get donated, we'll find out. We can adjust that later.
okay.
All the pine trees you want.
And then
Seriously.
I know I will be there. Any other
Well, I'll be there.
volunteers? Josh will be there, Sam will be there.
I might be showing up at 9 a.m., but I'll be there.
Well, that
Okay.
reminds me, I need to add that to my calendar. I'll be there. I'll try to be there at 8 a.m. or 8:30. I mean, how early do we need to be there set up?
We'll probably get there at 8 because
Yeah, I'll
but-
get there. I may have to leave right after and not help break
Set
down,
up and
but
organize. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
people will be trying to get them
Yeah.
early.
Yep.
So you always have to decide, do we let them or not, or do we wait till not?
Okay.
Much.
I'm sure, I can't guarantee Amy, but she enjoys this, so I would think that she would want to be in on this too. So, okay. All right. What else do we need to know? And then marketing. So I don't know, Skylar, if you're still down to help with marketing for us this year, but if we could start that. Well, we need to probably start that in a couple weeks, right? But it's about 4 weeks out and start doing some promotion of that. So if we could start, like
That
2/6.
last week of February is when I'll be kind of like able to breathe from all the softball.
Okay.
So
I
should be
actually
able to
think
let
2
that
weeks
go.
is usually enough
Is it?
for most
On Saturday?
events on social media.
Especially these. I mean, these went pretty quick. So
Yeah. Okay. We'll start at the last week of February.
And we're going to call it Spring Tree Giveaway,
Is that what we want to call it? That's what we did.
so we're not
So it can't be-
copying. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very similar to what we did last year. Okay.
People need to know that they're bare root seedlings
oh,
Yes.
that will need to be planted as soon as possible.
Yes. And then it would be nice, kind of like we did last year too, to do a follow-up planting instructions that comes kind of after we have the free tree giveaway and then some planting instructions. People didn't really respond to the show us your trees. We got a few of them, but it was mostly,
We
so
can
I think we
actually
need to-
put some
mess
bare root planting instructions like on before the giveaway, so just so people know what to
There.
expect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we can go ahead and encourage them to send us pictures of their trees once they're planted anyway, just
Yeah, sure.
whether we get
Tag
any or
us.
not.
Yeah.
It's still, they were still fun to post.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll look at it.
Anything else we need to know? Any supplies? I think we're good on supply paper towel. I think we used a bunch of paper towels.
Yeah, once we've got all of the species, we can go ahead and make the signage that we were talking about, and we could do QR codes.
I think
And
people like to see the
laminate.
picture too, like here's what it
Yeah.
looks like in the fall, here's what your tree looks
What a
like.
nice picture.
Having one
Oh, I
display
like
with all the
it.
color pictures on it would be easier than having to do like a
Yeah.
million or 1,000.
And we had them
100
just
color
on the
prints.
table for the people who were picking them up last year. I think kind of what Amy was, had been helpful for us, the volunteers, to have had some specifications, so we're pretty well versed when they come up. So just for our own purposes, we could send it out, make sure we get extras printed for when we're back there grabbing trees and stuff like that.
tabling, do we have any kind of holders that would hold like a placard or like a seat card or anything like that? Because if we do, we could just print the pictures and the QR code for the different species, do it double-sided, and I can laminate it. And so
That
that way.
doesn't work, because people are, yeah. We
Okay.
thought that was enough last year, but we needed them actually in the the run where the trees were, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, so people could consider it
can
before they
look-
get up to the table.
Yeah, and those were helpful, but all the people were touching them and on them.
Interacting with them, yeah.
So, and then we're divvying up, so I don't know that location would be helpful if it
Maybe
was
we need a
double-sided.
menu. You know,
We
like
do
I'm
need a
thinking
menu,
about
like
how
a
when you're
shopping
standing in
menu.
line,
Yeah.
you're looking at a menu and it
Yeah.
could be laminated and handed to the next person in
Yeah.
line when
And
somebody's
I think simple,
decided.
here are your specifications, here,
Yeah.
Here's how big they get, here's how wide they
that.
get.
Sure,
Here's
it'd be
what they
cute.
look like in the
Yeah.
fall, here's what they look like in spring.
Precious.
And then
How long
one
they
of us
live.
can kind of be working the line too.
Just like we had a line, and we had people on the table, we were all going.
Mhm.
And so we were all kind of looking over the shoulder, that piece of paper, trying to
Yeah, but it would be
figure out.
really nice if they knew what they wanted before they got
Before
up
they
to
got.
the table.
Mhm.
So I think having like a menu that they could look at, because the problem is like we can try to put some kind of signs up, but it could be windy, it could be rainy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted to touch and have them, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea. So Sam, are you doing our menu for us?
I
Menu.
can help for sure. Yes.
I can probably put something together for the menus.
So y'all just decide who wants to do that, or if
I
you
can
want to
do that,
partner
that's
together,
fine.
either way.
You know more about the trees
And you
than
have
I do.
laminated apparently.
I do.
Okay.
If you come up with the information, I can do a good layout if you don't do layouts. So,
I like playing with Canva. It's awesome.
Canva's fun.
cool.
I am a sponsor of one of the clubs at UCA, and they have a laminator, and their storage is right next to my office. Very convenient.
I can't stand the smell of the laminator.
All right. Anything else on free tree giveaway?
Seems good.
No, we're good on that?
How are we going to request volunteers? We said we have to request volunteers, but we didn't say. Are we just going to ask for them on?
I think it's just
Just
Just for us. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was like,
I thought you
we're
meant
just
for
gonna-
larger. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think we need. Do you
I
think
think
we
we'll be
need?
okay.
No.
Yeah.
I
We were
thought-
busy, but it was
for some
fun. I
reason
mean,
I
it
thought
kept the day
that.
moving
Yeah.
pretty quickly, so I think we're good with that. We could probably
Fingers
talk to
crossed for
Bobby
decent
ahead, see if he
weather.
can stop. I don't know if he does Saturday work, but maybe talk
And
to
or
Bobby
snow.
and see if he can come out for that.
And or snow.
Indoor snow.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, so continued annual calendar planning. So we did not set dates or time for anything, and Ryan, let me know if this is the order that we should be going in, or if we want to projects. Does it matter? Okay. I feel like I'm a little bit floundering today. Okay, so we know we have the free tree giveaway. Our yoga series typically starts in April, typically on Earth Day. We do not have to do that. But Monday, April 22nd, look, let me make sure I did not just look at all 2023 for some reason.
22nd is our.
Do we have our
Is
budget of like how much funding we know we have for different things yet?
So we don't have the additional requests,
But we
but
have some money here.
But we do, yes.
Not
So,
a lot.
I think last year we spent, what was it, $175 per session. It was $100 to go to the yogi, and then we budgeted in, of all the merchandise we had, we allocated like $75 for merchandise giveaways and things like that. While we're there, and printing like educational materials to pass out. And then typically while they're there, they'll get some information on the board, and our yearly calendar is on there too of all of our events. So that's typically all we do. There are some stickers, maybe some bandanas. We can do whatever y'all want, but that would start as early as Earth Day if we want to do that as far as yoga.
Do you think Monday is a terrible day? I think Monday is a terrible
Well,
day.
I think
to
we've
do-
done it on the Friday night before, didn't we? Previously, I think we've done it.
What did we do? Weren't we doing like Thursdays last year? Didn't we do like? No, we did one Saturday. I thought we were doing some Thursday evenings.
And we have to get the park reserved. So do we ask you about parks now, or do you want us to go online? And is there like the online reservation thing now, Skylar? How do we?
We should still be able to block this for you. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, we did it on a Friday last year. We did it the Friday before Earth Day. And I think it's because that Saturday's like color run or something. There's something else that happens on that same weekend, it seems like every year.
But I think like the one that was at Cadron, wasn't it on a Thursday?
Oh, probably. No, if we
And that
wanted
was
to
the
move on day-
the best attended.
And I think it all depends on your instructor
weather,
too. Well, it's the
yeah.
weather,
She-
it's your
yeah, she brought her own
instructor.
following,
Yeah,
yeah.
like they were her.
Yeah.
And same thing
Yeah, which
with,
is fine.
some of the others too. But I think the one that we had in Markham Square,
She's from Little Rock,
she's
so
from
she
Little
doesn't
Rock, so her
have.
following's there. And we moved it to a Saturday, and we moved it to a morning. So we changed the venue, the time, and had the instructor who's from Little Rock. So, hindsighting was probably, we should do someone who is here, more well-known, if we're going to change time and location, I think, would be my feedback on that. Now, when we did have it in Cadron, it was a huge hit.
And the weather was
Everyone loved it.
perfect.
Weather was
Yeah.
perfect.
There was
Everything was
a little bit of
perfect.
luck, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a great event too. So typically our yoga series will going to take us, so we do April, May,
June.
and June. So May.
I think the reason we did it early in June was because we were about the heat.
It definitely
time of
needs, I
day.
think it needs to be early.
And it was Thursday, May 25th when we did it at Cadron. So that was all tricky because it was before Memorial Day weekend too, right? So thoughts on dates and location for April, May, June yoga.
So you said the May before Memorial Day is when y'all did it at Cadron last year on that Thursday. I would shoot for that same.
So that would be the 23rd.
And that'd be at Cadron.
Well, and do we want to do the same parks or do we want to do different
Something
ones?
different.
If Cadron was a hit, I would include there. The other two, I mean, those can be toss-ups. You can switch those wherever.
Cadron
Same
is an
thing.
awesome
We could
location
just
for
do all
it.
three of them at Cadron if we got the ability.
I mean, the idea was kind of
think the
to
intent-
like highlight
yeah.
the different parks.
Yeah.
Parks and grab different demographic, people who may not want to drive to Cadron, but could walk to a closer city park might want to take advantage of that too. It was
So
really the
Fifth Avenue
thought.
would be
Fifth Avenue
nice for
would be
that.
nice to try.
Want to try Fifth Avenue? Okay. And I didn't, the
But I
other,
like Cadron a lot.
we want to stick with Cadron.
Let's do one at
Got it.
Cadron.
Yes.
May
I would
23rd
do
at
that May
Cadron
one at
sounds good.
Cadron, yeah.
So May, and we said the 23rd
Mhm.
potential at
It's a
Cadron.
Thursday.
Okay. And then, can we back up to Earth Day weekend? Do we still want to do that on a Friday, or are we going to do it on that Monday, or?
What date is that?
Earth Day's
So
the
Earth-
Monday, 22nd of
Okay.
April.
Mhm.
It would be kind of fun to do it as like a stress relief thing on the 15th, which is also a Monday because that's tax
Tax
day.
Day. That is funny.
That's funny.
We could
Well,
do
we
it
could do
the
You think
25th.
Mondays are good?
No.
No, not really.
I'm
But
gonna say, I want to keep saying Mondays in my mind. I'm like, I feel like that's a bad day.
I think it's a bad day.
Tuesdays, people are open, Thursdays.
We
people
could do
are
the
open.
25th potentially. So,
Like,
I
we
know
want to
that-
stick with Thursday. Yeah.
well, I'm thinking like I would think we would want it to be in the week of Earth Day.
Mhm.
To kind of piggyback off of other advertisements and events happening during that week. I know that at least for UCA 26th, that Friday is study day, and so there are no classes happening whatsoever.
Mhm.
And so we could kind of capitalize that if we want to switch it to a Friday, the 26th. We're going to have low class attendance on the 25th anyways. So I think either of those would be fine. And that's still about a month out from the following May
Mhm.
And that would be a good one to do, like, if I'm thinking of parks near UCA, I'm thinking Laurel Park or the new Veterans Park would be really good too, if we could use that.
Veterans Park.
I've been out there.
I don't know what it looks like. Are there trees?
Not yet. There are trees, but I mean, not as many as there will be.
Yeah. The really cool thing about the Earth Day yoga is that when it's in the park, the trees are rustling, like it is really a really cool experience.
Yeah.
So like Laurel Park would be good for that and close to UCA. Are there any parks that are closer?
I mean, we can do Markham Square potentially in May. I don't know, will we have water?
Are we thinking
April.
May or April?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
April.
Okay, thank you.
April.
I mean, Gatling has a couple of spots that you could do that at, but it's not
That's true.
I don't think we've done it there before either.
We've only done Laurel.
That one's really
Cadron.
close to UCA, isn't it?
It's farther than Laurel.
Oh, okay.
you did it past Laurel.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Tyler Street. I was gonna say across from Briarwood, but Briarwood doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. So are we feeling good about 4/25 as the date? Sorry, I'm gonna back up for a second.
Yeah, we're wanting
4/25.
Thursday the
Not too hot,
25th
not too
or
cold.
Friday the
Do that.
26th.
I said not too hot, not too cold.
Right.
but it's a light
Perfect
jacket.
date.
All right. And then, so do we want to nail down Laurel Park? We want to do Gatling Park?
Can I suggest we switch it to the 26th study day?
Do you want it to be on a Friday or a Thursday?
It's going to be in the evening. This isn't going to be during the day.
I will say Fridays, like we've done it on a Friday and I didn't think it was that
It's well
well.
attended.
Yeah,
People are
Friday.
getting ready
It's
for the
going to be
weekend.
busy, especially people
Yeah,
are getting
no,
ready for the
25th is
weekend.
good.
Okay.
And then so location.
I don't know that it matters that much to me, so you have opinions on locations?
No, I like yoga in Laurel Park, but I'm biased.
I'm with
I like
that.
Laurel. Not, but
I
I
like
do,
Laurel.
but I also do like getting out, but we can do June somewhere else and we're doing Cadron.
I like Laurel just because
Neat.
it's proximity to UCA when it's study day and trying to pick up some students for that.
For aiming at students, yeah, that's a good
I
idea.
think people are kind of accustomed when I think about forming like behaviors and expecting it, like Laurel's kind of expected for that.
And then
Well, and they're
June.
intentionally keeping that big open area at Laurel
Or
so people can just be in the
Yeah.
space. So I mean, it's really nice to highlight that.
okay. 4/25 Laurel, May 23rd at Cadron. And then let's move on to June.
But we'll have to check on the calendar, right?
Yeah.
Skylar?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh,
Phenomenal. Looking at June, and if we're kind of sticking with what we've done, we could do Thursday the 20th.
I'd go
That's-
earlier, right?
I'd go earlier.
Oh, fair.
It's hot in June.
Well, I'm like, each one's like, was that third Thursday?
What's our date?
Yeah, the 20th and 21st,
It's a
somewhere in
lot.
there's the solstice.
It's
Or
not so
equinox.
hot.
So
No,
this
solstice,
is
summer solstice
June,
would be
and we've
one of
got
your days.
May,
There has to
we're
be enough
doing-
time.
When is that?
It's the 20th and the 21st, I can't remember which ones.
Or is it, was the
Thursday.
The 13th?
Yeah,
Because I mean, you don't want to go too far, but you want to leave enough space in between both events.
yeah.
So if you're doing-
So.
Yeah, it leaves what,
this is
almost
Saturday.
2-3 weeks.
So June 20th is summer solstice.
Could be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll also be a Thursday, which keeps with our theme.
Longest day of the year, Thursday.
What's the?
It's a good time to do an evening.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, and I mean, the
I think the
20th.
20th is okay.
20th is also the day after Juneteenth too.
June 20th.
I'm gonna be in Green Bay, so y'all do whatever.
20th is also the day after Juneteenth, and so there's already going to be a lot of community
See,
events.
and that's what I was thinking, if we could talk to diversity, the diversity advisory board, because they do the culture in the parks. I tried to pull it up today to see if
Yeah.
anything had been planned. Do you know anything about those plans?
I do not.
It'd be nice if we could coordinate with them and be part of that event. So maybe if they're on the weekend, it would make sense for us to be maybe in Markham Square on the 20th in an evening before their weekend of events. But we don't want to take, I mean, Juneteenth is not our holiday.
Yeah, we don't, yeah.
You know, do what?
Other thing that we're looking at.
Culture in the park, it's right around Juneteenth.
There's some people have Juneteenth off now, not.
You guys have a preference on which pavilion you want at Laurel?
We do it up by the
It's not even a
concrete pad.
pavilion.
It's like on the north end, up on the concrete pad
The
area.
high area where
Yep.
it dries out.
It's dry. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think the 20th is, so we're not on Juneteenth. I'm like not taking that
Right.
holiday and
Right.
appropriating it. But the 20th, which is also the solstice, would be.
That's appropriate.
No, I meant
That's
like
what I
it's
was
the day
advertising.
after,
Yeah.
and so
Oh, yeah.
multiple events
Yeah, I
happen.
know what you, yeah, I understood that, but yeah.
So do we feel okay, June 20th? We want to try again, Markham Square? MLK Park?
Might be toasty, but I think with it being summer solstice.
Hot yoga.
Oh, God.
I feel the same way about hot yoga.
It's good for you to sweat and stretch.
Or if we're doing it towards the evening when it's not as ridiculously hot.
It's evening, yes.
What park are we wanting for June 20th?
And so we're talking about MLK.
Let's say MLK would be our first choice if we can partner up with Culture in the Park.
MLK or Fifth Avenue.
And then, or if not, do we want to do Fifth Avenue? Sure. Backup location?
It's your big major park, so
Yep. Okay.
and what time frame you wanting to do for all these?
Oh. And
I
Laurel,
don't
we
think
did
that's
it
all up to y'all.
in April. Is 6 to 7 still good? I thought like
April.
Should be light enough by then, yeah.
Hold on.
Should be light enough by then.
It'll be
6 to
past the
7?
equinox, so it'll be light later.
we want to do them all 6 to 7. That's maybe
Sounds
6:30, 6 to 7.
I'd probably say 6 to 7. It's pretty normal time.
Yeah, it looks like for April 25th of this year, sunsets
7.
almost 8 p.m. And so,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So 6
we're
to
good.
7.
So
across the
let's
board.
do 6 to 7 for all of them.
And that gives, people do yoga and then go have dinner.
Yep. Okay.
You don't want to do yoga on a full step.
No. Okay.
People get off work.
So yogas are planned.
Do we want to see if we want to add in another set in fall once we've got our budget?
Yeah, once we get our, and then we'll just take off August, then maybe we can do September, October, November, and then the November one is Arbor Day. Maybe we'll
I
finish it
think
on
it would be
Arbor Day
alright.
in the morning.
That'd be fun.
Sun salutations, Arbor Day. Ta-da. Huzzah. Okay, all right, so then that will be the potential takeoff on, okay.
Do we have any other events?
There's an Arbor Day itself. That's the big one.
Yeah, that was already planned. We know when that
Yes,
is.
so that'll be November 2nd.
Yes.
Right, it's the first Saturday.
Is there any chance that that's not youth hunt weekend since it's so early? Maybe they're always first Saturday also.
I'm not sure if they've set the dates yet.
That's always been a problem with that, or our Arbor Days. It's always in conflict with youth hunt.
Coming back to 2 hours this year was
Seems
a
pretty long, yeah.
good idea.
Seems pretty long.
So you mentioned earlier or late last year that you may want some participation in an event, a roundup. I don't know when that happens.
It's Farm Roundup. It is scheduled it's scheduled for April 23rd and 24th at the Conway Expo Center. We invite all of the second grade classes in the county to come learn about agriculture.
Mhm.
And I thought it could be interesting to have, like, we do kind of like stations, you know, and so the classes kind of move from one station to the next, learning about different things. And so you have about 10 minutes with a class to do some kind of a lesson. And I thought a lesson on trees would be nice, but it's a big commitment. 2 days in the middle of the week.
So what was the date again?
For farm roundup?
Second.
Or no, for November, yeah.
That's likely gonna be, because opening day of modern gun season is the 9th. So it's usually the weekend
Before, I think it's
Yeah.
always the first weekend in November.
Probably. Same as
Always
our
been
other
the, yeah. So April 22nd, 23rd, and then the other part, and I'm gonna, while we're thinking about that, is the Master Gardener's plant sale. Y'all wanted some
If
participation or assistance, so two things.
Yeah, so the Master Gardener plant sale is May 11th at the Conway Expo Center from 8 to, they haven't decided on the ending time. Last year it was 1:30. But it would just be like an information table, that if tree board wants to have an information table.
And I think,
Can I go shop early if I volunteer to work the
We
table?
can't do early sales, sorry, but if there's like more than one of you, you're already in the building at
Right,
8
yeah.
o'clock.
No, I showed up late last year and missed out on a bunch of stuff I wanted, but that's okay. That's what I get
It's
for
a
showing up late.
frenzy, yeah.
yeah.
It's Black Friday, plant world.
So the farm roundup, I won't be able to take time. I don't think I'll be able to
I mean, I
swing
pretty
that with
much
my
have
benefit time.
Decided that, yeah, we don't have the manpower to do that, which is fine.
So that sounds, that would be a great way to educate. Maybe
Yeah.
next year when y'all do it, we can do that. But I would like to support the tree sale in some way, because I know the Master Gardeners give us a lot of support as well. And it would be a nice opportunity. I mean, there's a huge turnout for us to share, but we would need to, before then, have some good information to share, bring all of our collateral, tabling. So is that something that would be of interest to the board, to share information at the Master Gardener Place?
I mean, yeah, I think that the people that would be showing up would certainly be interested in the things that we do.
And this would be a place we could display our sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah, no, absolutely, precisely that.
And share information, for sure.
What time is the plant sale?
It's 8 until 1:30 last year. The first 2 hours are total chaos, just, and then it slows down a lot.
And that would just be information. And I know last year we had several trees left over that the Master Gardeners then potted for resale, but we could retain them and give them. Or do we have to sell them? Would that be a contradiction? Would that take, you tell me.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. Like, if people are
we still
carrying
wanna
around
give
a
them
plant, like, how do we know
That's
they're
right.
not,
True.
you know?
Well, I'll be at the sale at some point anyway, so I could volunteer to run the table pretty much the whole time. Like 8 to, well, probably earlier than that if I show up set up, but yeah.
It's a great opportunity to reach plant people. People who care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to make a motion to, because this wasn't on our calendar, do I need to?
I may not
Might
be
as-
here.
might as well.
So I'm not volunteering.
But we would need to plan and have some good information to take to people before, making sure we have the quantity to support it. So it will require probably, budget consideration for marketing collateral for that, which is fine. I think it's a good time. Okay. I can commit to be there. And Josh, you said you would commit to be there. Okay. So thoughts, everyone else, make a motion to attend Master Gardener Plant Sale, May 11th, 8 to 1:30, to share information about the tree board.
Motion.
Second. Yep.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. All right. That's done. So that brings us through May. We probably need to, so I know the big event's coming up, but I don't know that we'll have any like planting. I'm gonna back up. March 8th is the big event, and that's a time when we can get lots of volunteers. I didn't know if there was any pruning work at any of the sites, if there is any work required where we might need a large number of volunteers at this point. I don't think so.
But we did talk about doing some winter pruning in some of our plantings. Which that would be now.
Well, and just revisiting, like, what have we already done? Like the ones at the ballpark, I think probably need
They need a little bit
to be addressed, and then the ones out at McGee Center. So would that be a work day for us? Do we want to get some volunteers? Kind of give me your thoughts on what that would look like.
I don't think there's really enough like at the ballpark for volunteers. It could be an opportunity if the park's employees want a pruning lesson, that we could do kind of a, like, I could be out there and show them some pointers on pruning trees.
What do you want to do that?
Sometime in February. February is the best time to prune, even in my.
Yeah, I'll get with Trey.
You want to just ask if that's something that they'd be interested in? I mean, it's totally up to you guys, so.
I mean, I'll ask.
Yeah.
Worst I can say is no.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get with Trey about
College
that.
Station? Why do I like College Station Park,
It's,
right?
is that what it is?
Conway
College?
Station?
Conway Station.
Yes, the nine field baseball
Conway
field.
Station?
Yeah. Conway
It's
Station.
Conway Station.
Thank you. Okay.
I
Okay.
always call it either station or CSP, so.
Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right, and then Skylar, you'll follow up on that, right?
Yep.
Okay. That'll be good. Okay. All right, and then what are your thoughts at McGee Center? Or do we?
I
can
haven't
we
been
wait till
over there.
fall? Because that's 2 years we planted those, right? We planted those in
I
21.
think they're good right now. I think we
Yeah.
should wait another year.
Because
least.
and I'm thinking we put in the grant for the fruit trees, so
Mhm.
I may be out there anyway.
we're gonna get those, and like maybe that we plant and pay attention out there when we get more information about this grant. Give it more time.
Would that be a fall planting for the fruit trees? That would be best.
Probably. I mean, I don't know when the decision will be made. I think it will probably have to be fall.
Drives me crazy when they'll do a grant, but then they're like, money has to be spent by July 1. Like, and everybody's planting in June.
Yeah.
Which is not an appropriate time.
Okay. All right. And then, so for our fall, I mean, we don't really know about budget for yoga if we're going to do a fall, but the only other thing would be Arbor Day. And then if we wanted to do some kind of fall planting. Any thoughts on wanting to do a fall planting?
Well, hopefully we'll be doing the fruit trees then,
I
but
always like the February plantings.
So just do it in the spring?
February. I mean, that's when we're planting trees.
Yeah.
But those are bare root.
Yeah,
Containerized trees are good in the
it's just,
fall.
yeah. I worry about water in the fall though.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern.
Okay.
But I mean,
that's something we could wait to decide later too.
Okay. What are we doing? 5:33. Just checking time. Okay, so we'll just kind of leave fall planting. Don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, and we'll wait until we get our fruit tree information. And then I want to back up to, and I'm kind of jumping ahead to old business because we're talking about tree planting. So looking at the dates, it looks like February 7th is when the most people can make it for the tree planting on Tucker Creek from 3 to 5, which I just put in 2 hours. I don't know if there's going to be one person or 5 of us. It may take 30 minutes. It might take longer. So, and I'm not looking at the doodle. I can't remember who all, but that was the most availability on the 7th, 3 to 5 for planting trees
Well, that time again?
from 3 p.m. to 5
Thank you.
p.m.
And
I
where's
was
the Tucker Creek, you
distracted by
said?
the engine.
That's this
I say
Wednesday,
Tucker
which
Creek,
is supposed to be
that's this-
nice. Right?
Yeah, that, well,
As long as it's
I
not
put
too
in the
wet.
dates between the rain dates. It's like
Which park is it?
so it's not, it's actually on Reedy Road. I will send y'all
Oh, okay.
the exact
Oh,
location, but it's
okay,
down
it's
off Reedy
along-
Road.
okay.
Yeah. And I forget the name of that neighborhood. But it's that same, I'll reshare.
Dallas subdivision.
Yep.
Dallas subdivision.
Across from Dallas subdivision.
And I'll have to go back and I'll resend that email with all the specifics on there. So 3 to 5, do we have volunteer who's committing to show up 3 to 5 on the 7th? Krista?
I can be there for at least an hour.
I am hopeful that I can surprise show up and help.
I'll try.
It's just 4 trees.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try.
Yeah, I'll be there at least 3 to 4.
And I'll be coming back from Hot Springs that day, but I should make it. But I will make sure the trees are at least out there. If I don't,
I'm meeting hopping all day, all week, so.
okay. All right. Bring a shovel, bring
I might
gloves.
be able to pick them up off your front porch if I needed to. Might be safer on your front porch than out in the middle of them.
Yeah, that's true. I will. I'll make sure they're on my front porch, but I should,
Yeah.
I should be able to. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it back, but I think I'll be able to make it back in time at 3 o'clock. Okay, so that'll be the tree plantings. Any other calendar discussions, questions? I know we talked about meetings. And I know we're very short on time, 5:36. So the items left on the agenda are committee work discussions and bylaw discussions, which to me, the bylaws are a priority. I would like to have. And going back to the bylaws, we had 3 standing committees. That's kind of how everything was organized. It no longer seemed to suit our purposes. So I'm afraid to even say committee, or if we want to do project work, or if I even have to name this.
Mostly committee.
Can we say committee?
Subcommittee.
Subcommittee, okay, subcommittee. So I'd like to propose that we have a subcommittee to discuss our bylaws and to set up a meeting to follow up on that, where we can just discuss ordinances, bylaws.
Is that more of an ad hoc committee, not a standing committee then? Or is that a committee that you want to always be?
Throwing it to you, Ryan. Oh, to always be? I don't know that we would need it every year.
I think
so
we
it
would
has
just
to
need
be-
probably maybe 2 meetings.
Okay, so it's just an ad hoc.
Yeah.
And I assume we're allowed to have ad hoc.
I think it's a city style. I looked at I can't remember, but yes, they can. I don't know if you
Yes.
have to do or they can do. So I'm not sure how
We
to.
just have to give a certain hours worth of notice. But it's fine.
We'll have an ad hoc committee for bylaws. And I know that we have to have at least 3 people, I recall, to have a committee, correct? And then someone to chair that committee. And I will gladly take volunteers of anyone who would, I want to be at those meetings, but I'm not. I don't know if I can be on that committee or a chair of a committee or how this works exactly.
No,
I'm
you
interested, like, hoping to see hopefully where things will be going in the next 3 years when I can't be on the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
Which I'm not a voting member, so I don't know how
Your advisement, I feel, is very important, as is yours. Like, I know, I'm sorry, but it's like, I think that's where it is a little tricky, because I asked, we
We
want
would
to
have to have 3 people plus the non-voting members.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct?
that would work.
Okay.
So you, okay.
So me, John, and we can have as many people log in.
Yeah,
Okay.
the more the better in this case, because we're talking about a lot of input
But
from a
who's
lot
going
of
to
different
chair?
locations, departments.
Would anyone like to chair that committee before I
Which just means calling the meetings.
I can
right?
basically do that.
can do that?
Yeah.
I'll be on the committee.
Okay.
Everybody. here,
Everybody.
right?
And I have a feeling, I mean, it is, I feel like this is really important, because you're right, we're setting future parameters for the folks who are gonna come right after us. Of course, they can change it if they want, but I'd like to get them on a good footing.
We definitely need to have some people that are gonna be here next year, so.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good point.
Because otherwise, it doesn't really help us if everyone on the committee is gonna be gone next year.
Okay. And when would we like to meet for that? When is a good time? And I did start the Google Doc. I've never thought about Google not being acceptable for everyone.
He's like, I'm good with that.
No, I mean,
It's
Ryan provided us with an update last month and
Yeah.
so I'm good with that.
Well, I did not, like, a lot of the operational procedures are not in the bylaws. And, yeah, I mean, I think there's a good foundation, but I'd like some more details in there. And proposing perhaps a name change. We don't have to talk about that now. Okay.
So we can talk about that later.
Mhm.
We can talk about that later.
That later. Okay, so when is a good time for everyone to meet? Would we like to meet before, like between our next meeting, so we can come back with some information in March?
Third week of February is best.
Any particular time, third week of February?
The 20th, the 22nd.
I go with the 22nd. I got drafts Monday and Tuesday that day. That week. So,
I'm generally free between 1 and 4. during the
I could do
week.
the 23rd also.
And I can work around anything.
I'm actually good on either one of those days.
You guys prefer Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday, like, I might want to be
Alright.
gone.
Yeah. So we feel good about the 22nd of February, and do we need to keep, the room? Availability, does that matter?
Move on to room.
The 2/22, Thursday, timeframe? We need this.
Josh
week.
said 1 to 4, right?
That's ideal for me, but I can work around if we need to.
Other people work.
I was gonna
so-
say, I get to take later lunch breaks and we have coverage to, I mean, I'm good. I can
I'm flexible.
I can be
so
on for,
I'm flexible.
if he's a good. Hopefully it's not an actual
Sam's
3 hour
checking your
meeting. though.
schedule.
Yeah.
I'm good
Bobby.
after 3.
okay.
Do you want to aim for 3 o'clock?
3 or 3:30 or something like that? 3?
3:30.
Because you said after 3, which
Yeah.
Okay,
For
so-
like an hour or hour and a half, what are we looking at?
To 5.
I'm like brainstorming, usually
Yeah.
it'll take us about 90
Yeah.
minutes, but anything over that, my brain explodes. So, okay.
3:30 to 5 on the.
So 3:30 to 5 on the 20th, I start talking in circles, kind of like we're doing now. All right, so on the 22nd, 3:30 to 5 PM, ad hoc bylaw committee meeting, correct? Okay. All right, so we got that planned. Okay. And I think really once we do that, we've already talked about business that needs to be handled before our next meetings. We can talk about bylaw, then we come back in March and discuss that and any other ongoing projects we have at that point. And I'll have a calendar drafted for us. Anything else anyone would like to add before we call this? Any other topics? Anything I've missed? Okay. And I'll make a motion for us to adjourn.
Seconded. Approved.
I moved.
Words.
I'll make a motion.